broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
She walked in the court,
yes. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. You are here for the season finale of Murder in the First, episode number 12, called Number 39. I am Monse Bolanos, here with my awesome co-host, Micheal Andrew.
Hey! Hi, guys.
Where can they tweet you if they want to tweet you right now about how awesome this episode was?
Right now, about this crazy conundrum of episodeness. Micheal_Drew, Micheal EAL. That's me. Tweet me. This was a really good one. I wasn't able to live tweet with anybody because my phone broke. But it was one of those episodes where when it ended, I looked at you and I was like, damn, my phone. this is the episode to live tweet. It was a lot of moments.
Literally, he said those exact words. But you can tweet me right now at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. We are so excited to talk about this.
I mean, damn.
Right?
Where to begin?
Well, you know what we should begin with? So right before we started watching the episode, we wrote down 3 predictions on the Dustin Maker storyline, the Sugar storyline, and the Union storyline.
Yes.
So we both wrote down our own predictions, and
well, I mean, needless to say, I can honestly say, like, I was wrong about every single one.
Yeah. So,
all of them.
Yeah. So for Dustin, we both predicted that Dustin was not going to get sentenced to life. If you've not watched the episode, turn this off.
Yeah, you made a mistake.
You made a mistake.
You have made a mistake.
We both predicted that Dustin would just get life.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get life.
Yeah. And for Sugar, what did you predict for Sugar?
I was trying to stick with my original,
which you were
my original prediction from since when Mo McCray was here. I looked him in his eyes and I was like, "Listen, Fatty B's gonna kill you," and I was kind of right.
Yeah,
I said Fatty B's gonna kill you and he's gonna take over.
You know what I loved is when Mo was here, the actor who plays Sugar, and he realized your big crush on Rafi. He kind of made a comment.
I know. I'm gonna rewatch that episode now
about him and her, right? And so it all makes sense. But what else did you predict on Sugar, or what? I
said Sugar dies. Clearly, he doesn't. But Fatty B did take over.
Yeah, so you were kind of right about that. I got nothing right. Oh, well, I said Sugar wouldn't die, but I said Sugar was going to go to jail for something else.
Yeah.
So that was not right. And then the Union.
I called Kodo's dad. I went for a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Well, last week I said what's his name? I said Stiletti.
Stiletti.
So I keep calling him Stiletti.
Stop giving him a shoe.
I mean, is that
all right?
Oh,
Curry.
Stiletto.
Curry Graham, he was here last week, who plays Stiletti, and you called him Stiletti. He's like, it's not a shoe.
That's true.
Stiletti.
Well, I don't know, it just sounded
I know.
still. All right, so
and it goes with it. Yeah.
Which I guess it makes no sense that I even said that because he's not even a cop. But I thought it would be that crazy. Well, I was wrong. I called Kodo's father today. I said today I was like, you know what? It's gonna be Kodo's dad. And hey, I was wrong about that too. But that's a testament to the writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because and even when they did make these reveals and proved me wrong continuously, I wasn't. I wasn't upset. I was like, you know what? Damn, I didn't see that coming. I can't believe I didn't see that coming. I was happy with the reveal.
I was gonna say, I was like, even though for the Union, I was like, Union goes down, Hildy's dad's still involved. So that's what I wrote down. But I agree. I'm glad that I wasn't right. Like, I totally liked that I was not wrong.
Me too. I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't Kodo.
Yes,
I'm really happy
too.
It wasn't Kodo.
Because I kind of thought he could.
Before I put the first thing I write, you can see here. I crossed it out. I said Kodo is head dog. Then I crossed. I said Kodo's dad.
Kodo's dad.
I didn't want it to be Kodo.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm glad he wasn't because he's my man crush Monday.
Yeah, and
all the time,
if it was any of the main guys, little throw it out there. Yeah. If it was any of the main guys, they wouldn't have been able to come back next year and be part of this great ensemble cast. So that's what I was really afraid of.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that we wouldn't get a sudden death. I thought in the back of my head, I was kind of afraid. I almost made a prediction that Rafi was gonna get it.
Me too.
And she
I
got
almost
it, but-
started writing down Rafi.
But she didn't get what I wanted her to get.
With part of the union, and then I did not do that. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about the storyline that disappointed me the most.
Oh, okay.
Sugar's storyline. But it starts off actually with Fatty B and Mr. Andy Chan, who is always so cool.
Yeah.
Just calm and collected.
I like the thing they said at the beginning. Actually, I'll let you set the stage. Set the stage. Go ahead.
No, go. What did they say at the beginning? I want to know.
I like the beginning of the conversation with Fatty B and Andy Chan, where Fatty B is pretty much saying that pretty much weed is going to get legalized, and all that money that they're making is not gonna. They're gonna have to find another way.
Right.
Because once it's legalized, all this illegal loot that they're pulling in, it's not gonna be like that anymore. And then he segued into trying to get into that China White, which is drug talk for cocaine.
Right. And basically, like that, you're right, that whole interaction, it was so untrue. He had a point. But he tells him that he wants his connection, and that he would give him half the profit, basically be the invisible man, like he couldn't get caught. And he says, okay, Chan says, all right, tell your boss to contact me.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I don't have a boss, or Sugar's not my boss anymore. And then he asks him straight up, like, did you kill him or did you take care of him? And he just kind of says he's just not around. He's not in charge anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that he killed him. He doesn't say anything. He just says he's not around or he's not in charge.
Yeah.
You thought he was dead, huh?
No, okay, look, I went with the fact that he was dead only to stick with my prediction, but if you just looked at last week's preview and when they showed the dead body in the alleyway, I knew it wasn't going to be Sugar because it was too obvious. They're not going to have show both of them having guns on one another, then the camera pan out and then show a dead body on next week's episode. It's too much of a setup.
Right.
And if you watch this episode this week, you could see that whole storyline, that whole side storyline of finding the dead body, that was just a writer's decoy to make the audience think it was Sugar.
Right.
There was no point to that whole storyline.
No, not really. You're
there
right.
Wasn't, there was no point to it.
Yep, it was just
to confuse us.
A little bit. I agree. But so he survives. He doesn't die.
Clearly he survives.
He goes to Tahiti.
He goes to Tahiti. It's
with
crazy how
your lady.
He got off straight. I mean, I'm happy he got off clean. I like Mo McRae, and I like the character of Sugar. I was very happy with everything he did in the show, but man, he really got off scot-free.
Yeah.
And he went with Rafi.
Yes. I wish that this episode would have been an hour and a half, and you would have given us like a little bit of more of Sugar, maybe leaving, like that whole process of like kind of leaving his crew behind basically, and gotten a little bit more of Dustin, like, just made it like Dustin, a 90
more
minute.
Rafi. We needed more Rafi.
Yeah, even
wasn't
though
enough Rafi.
We do see Rafi in a bikini.
We do see her in a bikini, which was awesome.
And her hair looks good.
She does. Her hair always looks good.
Yeah,
she was looking good. She had a brew. Damn, man, she's cool, man.
She did have a brew.
She's sitting having a brew.
Yeah.
Bikini, chilling with a criminal. Damn, Rafi.
But I just wish it would have been a little, like, giving us a little more. It was so like, all right, there's Sugar. He's gone. He's in Tahiti, living the dream.
Yeah, this was the first episode where you finally saw the bad side of having so many simultaneous storylines going on. Even though it all rounds up into a nice, everything's connected, except for Dustin. Dustin was the only part that really wasn't connected with everything.
Right.
But it's all round up by the last episode. This is the first time you really see that they get to this final episode and they have to tie everything up, and they don't have an hour, so they just one scene, boom, Dustin, the other scene, boom, hey, looks like Sugar's in Tahiti, anyway, bye, just like quick, just so they can make enough space, because the union is such the bulk
of the story. Right.
And it's just like, I saw that with the other show, Empire.
Did it happen?
The last 4 episodes, you could tell like they didn't know they're gonna get season 2, and they just rounded everything up.
Put it all together. Yeah.
Quick side note: Mo McRae is gonna be in next season's Empire. I saw it on Twitter.
Look at plugging for you, Mo.
Sugar,
congratulations.
Sugar ends up in Tahiti, and now he's going to Empire.
Not
if this isn't the best year,
right?
Of this dude's like this crazy. He went out like a boss.
Yeah. Well,
with Rafi.
Maybe he'll come back to AfterBuzz for Empire.
Yeah, well,
right?
I won't be there to rub it in on that one. But yeah, but that's I agree with you on that storyline being too quick.
Too quick. Give us it would have been just a little bit more, but we also understand, a 60-minute show is actually 45 minutes with all the commercials and everything. So I'm sure they probably even taped more for it, but this was the final cut. Just saying, next time maybe a 90-minute finale. Just saying.
I mean, they might not even have had that much leeway with the network.
Yeah, it's very true.
I don't even know what the ratings are like.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I mean, this season, I really feel, well, I will save it for final thoughts, but I'm okay with Raffi leaving with Sugar. I just didn't. It was just so, I don't know. Like, even that was like the first time. I'll say before it went from being a cool crime show into a sudden Lifetime movie. Like, you know what I mean?
But just for that moment.
Yeah.
But it was just. I also think it was like the way it just kind of jumped from one scene to them being in Tahiti. It just seems like I get what you're saying. But it doesn't surprise me of Raffi being with Sugar. The last 4 episodes, she's been like not having it because of her little issues either with Terry or trying to be set up by Crayola. Like, she just kind of hasn't had the smoothest ride. Yeah. And then she did have that interaction with Terry earlier in the episode where she says, I can't do my job if I'm second guessing myself. So it doesn't shock me that she took off with Sugar, to be honest with you.
That's so drastic, though. You know what I mean? She went from being a cop to maybe kind of talking to Sugar to just
but
bouncing. But
he's got money, so she ain't got to worry about working. Dang. I get it, Raffi. I get it.
Raffi, not you. Not you. But I guess her morals are questionable. Questionable morals. But, maybe that's why I like her.
Whose other morals are questionable? Dustin's.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, nice segue. That was a good segue, Monse. Touche.
Thank you. Dustin. Yeah. Dustin's morals, not.
Yeah, they're all jacked up.
They're all jacked up. Okay, let's talk about that trial scene. Again, I wish it would have been a little longer. Just a little bit.
I mean, that's what happened. Look, man, again, not to harp on it, but kudos to the writing crew. Because all this for like, was it 13 episodes? Was it 13 or 12? For 12 episodes to be wrangling all those side storylines. And then just to wrap it up like this, if they miss one or two, like, you just chalk it to the game.
Right.
It was just because for the majority of the past 11 episodes, everything has just been mwah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's just like,
even
what's happening? What's happening?
What we're complaining about is that we didn't get enough. That's what we're complaining about.
That is very true.
We're not complaining because in reality, I think they answered all our questions.
They really did.
Like, now that I think about it, it's like
they really did.
Think I got it all.
No stone unturned.
No stone left unturned. Because really, what we're complaining about is we're just being greedy. Yeah. We just want a little bit more, which is not a bad thing. But that whole scene in the trial, man, I love that Dustin's dad was there. That guy.
Oh, his mama wasn't there.
But remember the last time she's like, I can't see this. So like,
yeah, that's true. She wouldn't have been
totally. There. She probably would not want to be there. And his dad, amazing facial expressions. I felt the pain. But Curry Graham, Mario Saletti's, his reactions. He was just like I felt him uncomfortable, like wasn't sure, because what did you initially think with the judge's monologue? Like, which way did you think he was going?
Yeah. Well, for a short scene that we're unhappy that it was, that monologue was really well done.
Oh yeah,
because I really was at the edge of my seat. I really was, to the point that we weren't reading the subtitles.
Right, we were like, don't read it because then we're gonna know what happens.
Because we have subtitles at the end on the bottom of our screen just so we don't miss anything. And when we were just like, yo, ignore the subtitles. So I enjoyed how it really looked like. I mean, you could tell that everyone was listening, but it really looked like Stiletti was listening. Like he was hanging on every word. Like he was nodding, shaking.
Yes.
I was thinking with my prediction, but maybe like by the end, you kind of saw the direction he was going.
Yeah.
Because at the end, he was like, "Listen, you just did too much.
Yeah.
You did too much, dude. You killed too many people."
And he does say, like he says, I took into consideration all the awful things that you did, but at the same time, that you didn't have any criminal record before, your relationship with Alfie Retman, your possible abuse. Like he mentions pretty much that he takes everything into consideration. The judge is played by Chris Ellis. You did an amazing job. I love the whole monologue. But yeah, it's like, as he was talking, I was like, he's gonna get the death penalty. As he was saying his monologue, you just had to, Like, all right, it was like, you're right. You're right, Judge. You're right. Like, as you say it out loud, you are right.
I mean, no matter how well of a case that was made for the life sentence, and it was an awesome case. Like, she really knocked it out the park. Jamie, right?
Yes,
Jamie really
Nelson,
knocked it out the park.
Played by Layla Robbins. We love you.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
But there was just no way. It was just too much.
It was just too much. And when he gets sentenced, I wish Dustin would have said some words. You know, when the judge is like, you chose to not have a jury, you chose to just do it this way, you know, with me. Do you have anything to say before I give you, you know, your sentencing? And he says no.
I think his tears said enough.
But it was too late.
I know, but he wasn't going to say anything. It was. I mean, there's nothing more he could have done.
That's true. But
I liked how he was so stone-faced, and the trial broke him down. Like, he was completely
stoic at the beginning.
He's completely different from that final moment, from the beginning episode.
Right.
Like, he's completely been broken down every episode to the point that now he looks like he has remorse.
I know.
And now he looks like he's afraid to die. And that's, I guess, is that punishment enough? Technically, I guess, is that some form of?
You know, sorry. The reason I was like, you said that. We had a Twitter, or not a Twitter comment, a YouTube comment from somebody last week, and I'm going to find them and give them their shout out. And he says, and he has every right, he's saying it right, that he didn't think Jamie Nelson was really doing anything for Dustin. That how can you possibly want somebody to spend their life in prison? Like, if he wanted to just take the death penalty, that he should. Like, that was the better option for him, and that Jamie was just being selfish or not really looking out for him. I'm gonna tell you.
I could see that. I mean, it did, when he went down the road, when she went down the road of bringing up the past of molestation without even knowing if he was really molested. That was kind of a Hail Mary. And
it's Chief of Wakanda. He said, I think Jamie has been doing Dustin a disservice all season. I would take the needle over life in a box any day. That dude just wants to die. Let him. She believes to be saving him, but all she's doing is condemning him to a slow death in a max prison.
Chief of Wakanda. That's a comic book reference. Shout out to that cat. Yeah. And shout out to your dress. Your amazing Spider-Man dress right now.
I am wearing a Spider-Man dress today. Wow. Yes, thank you. But yeah, he said that. And when I read that comment, I was like, he's kind of right.
Yeah.
Like a little bit, like when you think of it like that, yeah, why would you want somebody to spend their life in a 2x2 just thinking about what you did for the rest of your life? That's awful.
I think I responded to that comment.
You did respond. You wrote, thanks, Chief.
Okay.
And I agree about Jamie, but maybe that's her plan. Maybe she wants him to suffer without even realizing it.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you for reminding me, Chief.
Got you.
Good job, Wakanda.
Yeah, thank you for commenting. Thank you for everyone who commented on the video.
Yeah.
That just came up with what you were saying.
I was thinking maybe that she set that up because maybe in her conscience she wanted him to suffer.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I totally get what you're saying by that. Subconsciously, she was just like, you know, I'm going to help you. I'm going to save your life. But what you did is still kind of crappy.
Yeah.
A little bit. But good job, Mateus.
Yeah. Good job, Mateus.
Who plays Dustin
you killed
Maker. It. He was supposed to be coming in today. Unfortunately for us, but the cool thing is the cast was getting together to watch the finale. So that's why he was not able to make it. We hope you guys are having a great time.
Yes. The entire casting, I think not the entire cast. I don't think everyone was there, but the entire cast is like live tweeting the whole thing. I think they're live tweeting both East Coast and West Coast.
So tweet them, tweet us. But that's why we have nobody here, because they're doing their job.
I know. We had an awesome past few weeks. We had so many. We got a chance to ask them, chat with them,
and hopefully this will not be the end of the show, and we can do this next season and have the rest of them come back. But anything else on Dustin's?
Jamie really seems to care about him when she leaned in on him. It's like she really seems to have taken a liking to trying to save him.
She tells him, I'm not going anywhere. This is like years of appeals. This is not the end.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Because I understand her point, and I know she spent a lot of time with him, but he did commit a mass murder.
Yeah. I think... Are you asking me like if I was Dustin? If I was Dustin,
no, I mean,
I'd be like, yo, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
I'm just going to die.
Yeah.
Let it go. Go on and do your thing, girl.
Well, I mean, for her, like, why? She's going to keep pushing for it.
But if she's just a firm believer that a life is worth saving, she's gonna keep fighting.
Yeah, that's what it has to be, right?
Yeah, but at what point? I mean, Dustin really can't just be like, no, I don't want this anymore.
You gotta let the Reaper. Everyone has to pay the Reaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone has to pay the due.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But he gets sentenced to life.
He gets death. He gets sentenced to death.
I mean, I'm sorry, sentenced to death. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here. Yes, thank you. He does get sentenced to death, and probably the right.
The right decision.
I'll go.
Yeah. I mean,
as much as we both predicted he gets life, not death, I think.
Yeah, but technically, like Chief Wakanda said, life probably would have been the best thing for her.
Yeah,
because
you would have suffered and you would have
suffer.
Yeah, it just depends how you look at it.
Yeah, it's all it's a matter of
it's just a matter of
perspective. There you go.
Matter of perspective, especially I'm telling you that monologue from the judge. I was like, you're right. Mm-hmm. But then Chief of Wakanda, you're right.
You're right too, Chief.
You're also right. So we're just back to square one. We don't know what's right on the whole.
But that's the issue that America's
it's true.
Has.
It's true. All right, let's get down to the business.
The union
of the union.
Here we go.
And I love that we start off right away. Alyssa and Mulk on the date, and Mulk asks Alyssa basically straight out for all of this information, even though she's like trying to like have a good time, and she's like, flirty. I love it. Good stuff.
Telling a terrible story, by the way. I love it. I love it when they start off every episode with a piece of the story that you can't wait to see, and they just go right into it.
Right, exactly.
Like it was straight up. Listen, I saw the safe.
Yes.
What's happening?
I know he wasted no time. It was like
boom.
We've been watching 90 seconds of the season finale. He's like, I saw a safe. I need you to tell me everything about Junior and the package you were supposed to deliver. Like he didn't hold anything behind. And then he also promised to take care of her because
this guy Mulk is so sprung. Mulk was so sprung in this episode. You're just like, Mulk, what are you doing?
Aren't you glad that by the end of this episode, Alyssa just really genuinely likes Mulk? She was not dating Mulk now at this point because of Junior. It had nothing to do with that.
I wasn't fond of when after she was telling her story of her, like, oh, I got bit by a snake, and then in that part. After she was telling that story, and then when Mulk approaches her and pretty much just lays into her, like, listen, what's going on? I need to know. And she kind of does this victimizing thing, like, you just want questions. Yeah. So you're just a cop, and it's like
come be romantic, and then you just want it all.
Are you kidding me?
Melissa, calm down. It's true.
It's like do you realize what's been going on? Like, and she knows, because if you've seen her in any of these episodes, she's always giving off the impression that she really knows what's going on.
Yeah. And
so how do you expect the guy to react?
She knew who the head was.
So and he's supposed to, because she's trying to play him for a patsy, and that's the only thing about that she did that really ticked me off.
Okay,
it's like, come on, man, be real with the guy. Don't do that. But now you're romanticizing me, and then what? I'm like, oh, listen, lady, people are dying. He's a cop.
It's true.
He's one of the only good cops.
He is. He's so good. He asks for complete immunity for her.
He's too good.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like when he was arguing with
Terry
everyone.
was like, really? Full immunity?
Oh, I love Hildy. Hildy is so awesome.
Both of them. Terry and Hildy were just so great, but he was like, seriously? Full immunity? Like, what are you saying?
Hildy's like, Mulk. Dude's like, dang, man. Like, you letting these paintings get to you, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? Come on, man. Like, wake up.
Right. But
you ever see it naked? I can't, Hildy. I can't.
But Alyssa takes off pretty quick in the episode, too. She just takes off and instantly on the search for Alyssa. And we have them all searching her apartment, and they get to crack the safe open. And that's when we get Jimmy, who I looked up his IMDb and it's not there, but Jimmy is the name of the character.
I love Jimmy.
And he's the one who said, oh, so we split whatever's in the safe.
Yeah.
And then what did Terry say?
English just open the safe.
Just open the safe. I was like, oh, Jimmy, you're so funny.
Like inopportune joke moments.
Yes.
And then when they open it, it's empty. And then English is just like, you can take half. And then his wife.
It's so good. It's so good.
I think so. You can take half or you can take it all, but well done. Nice little dry wit by English.
Right. In this whole ordeal of dealing with Alyssa being lost and all this is when we get that random storyline thrown in.
Yeah.
Because they send Kodo, and at this point, when Kodo sent Terry and Hildy to cover this murder, I was like, Kodo's it. Kodo wants them away. Kodo doesn't want them on this union story, and I was like, please, no.
But that's why I'm so fond of the writing of this show, because they drop so many little random tidbits. Because in any other show, everything that happens has something to do with something. In this show, a random thing can really just be a random thing.
Right.
And you'll think like, oh, why would he tell him to do this during this moment? He's got to be in on it. Nah, he's still a chief, guys. They still have to solve homicide.
Right. And the random storyline that we're talking about is just because we're probably not going to talk about this. I'm just going to mention it so that we do mention it. They go on to investigate a homicide of Winston Farmer, who is a high schooler at a party, had an issue with somebody. They went and talked to his aunt. They found him dead. It turns out somebody named RC killed him, and that's the storyline that we get.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So pretty much that storyline meant nothing, right?
I don't think so.
They didn't lead to anything, did it?
No, it
was there
didn't
any
lead to
backward
anything.
story to it?
No, it was just and at the end, Hildy says, well, this kid was dead and his story is going to be buried in the newspaper. Okay.
All right. It was just setting the tone for what they have to go through every day. Right.
I think it was just like a procedural part of the story. And also, like what you said, to kind of throw us off, because when they went to see his body, Winston Farmer's body, I was like, it's Sugar's. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, because Sugar, he wears those fitted shirts.
Yeah, and you couldn't see anything. It was face down body, so it's like a Sugar. So I think you were also right, of just a way for us to be thrown off a little bit.
Yeah, but in retrospect, to what our nitpicks with this episode, seeing how we feel we didn't get enough time with the whole Raffi and Sugar thing. We feel we didn't get enough time with the whole court scene. Yeah. And then seeing how they had maybe 3 or 4 scenes dedicated to this. Yeah. They didn't really need it.
I mean, the only connection is they do say that Rashad Carroll, who is RC, who is the person that apparently killed this Winston guy, they do say that he runs with Porchero. So aside from that, I mean, there is a connection in the sense that he runs with Porchero, but you're right.
Yeah, so I mean, they could have. I mean, not to poo-poo on the writers, but I would have preferred them pull back on that and give more
I'm with
of
you on
everything
that one.
else, specifically the Sugar and Raffi thing, because it was too quick.
Because it's Raffi.
Well, that too. No, Raffi had a lot of time. No, I'm talking on behalf of my boy Sugar. I'm talking on behalf of Sugar. Because it was so quick.
Yeah.
It was so quick. He boom, and then he says that, he says this one line.
I mean, but he looks good. He has his shirt off. Yeah. He's looking pretty good.
Good, bravo for him.
Yeah.
Okay, but he was sitting down. He has these nice headphones. I didn't think you were gonna come. Like a Lifetime movie. He turns super romantic. I didn't know if you were gonna make it. What the hell? And then boom, you don't see him again. Yeah. I would have preferred to have seen
a little bit more.
A little more.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I agree. A little bit more Sugar would have been nice.
But maybe it wouldn't have worked. Yeah, it wouldn't have gotten this. We wouldn't have gotten the same effect.
It's true.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure there's reason to the madness.
Yeah.
That we don't know about.
I mean, I like the episode either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Exactly. So as Alyssa's gone, and we're gonna go continue on with the union. We just wanted to cover the Winston Farmer storyline, but Alyssa's gone, and like you said, Mulk is sprung on her. He gets a message that says, "I'm here, Duke Hotel, room number 4 or something."
I was scared for him.
Yeah, and then he pretty much instantly gets up and it's like, "Oh, I'm
goes
gonna go."
By himself, doesn't call anybody.
Yep, he goes alone, goes exactly to where she says.
White knighting it. White knight.
And she opens the door and she says, "I'm alone." And he goes in there like a cop, thinking that she's possibly with someone else. And it's funny because he's like, "Are you alone?" And she's like, "No, I'm having a party." There's a lot of dry humor in the episode, which I appreciate.
I didn't appreciate her dry humor because I think she's just putting Mulk through so much. How do you expect him to, stop being...
you're just... Yeah, by the end of this episode, I was like, no, she likes him, and she just took off because she was scared.
Maybe I'm looking through the guy's perspective. Damn, this dude's putting everything on the line. He's a cop. He's the only good cop. And he's just such... Right. He's
She's not being considerate of the fact that he's a cop, but she also probably doesn't understand the degree of what is happening.
Yeah.
Because... we don't really know.
Between the two of them, I thought she did way more dirt than he did. Well, of course, clearly she did way more dirt. Mm-hmm. So I just thought, listen, you throw the guy a bone, man.
Yeah,
you chill with the guilt trips. You slept with Junior. You were working with part of the prostitution ring, and then you're putting this guy through the ringer. How do you expect the guy to be?
That's true, but he's definitely into her. So.
Yes, he's
people
fully...
do stupid things when it comes to love.
But man, I didn't expect him to be that. He's really in deep. He didn't have there was never an interaction between him and Junior. We didn't get that.
No.
I was hoping for a Mulk Jr. moment.
I know, in the beginning of the episode when they're having their date and he says, I need to know your relationship with Junior, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, he knows and that's it? Okay, fine. So
yeah.
They just mentioned it real quick. But while he goes to see her, he's like, what happened? She's like, I got scared. I ran away. You don't understand. He came to see me. And then you don't know who, because they say, he came to see me. And then they cut to the precinct. And then Terry and Hildy go to Kodo. And they have like an interaction. And they tell him, like they say words. And they're like, all right, let's go get him. You still don't know who you're going to go get. And then they go and ask Ernie Nubbins, played by John Cothran. I am going to guess that's how you say your last name, Cothran.
Who do you think they were going to when they went? I mean, aside from, we said our predictions, but when they went to Kodo...
I thought for a split second, Lombardo. For a split second, because I was like, who else?
I thought Lombardo, too.
Who else?
That would have been a big leap for Lombardo's character.
Yeah. But that would have just been, that would have been like jumping the shark. It would have been like, that's not...
Like, come on, that's extra.
Yeah.
And then he just changes completely his demeanor.
Yes,
you guys figured me out.
Yeah. But I was like, who is it? Because I couldn't think of anyone else. And you know what? Ernie is not somebody I thought of. Captain Ernie Nubbins is not someone I thought of, because every time you saw him, he was with Terry and they were having like those very emotional conversations.
Both
like
have dead wives.
But yeah, like there was so much about it.
That sounds so insensitive. Both wives have passed away while they're on the force.
Yes. There you go. That sounds better. But yeah, like I did not at all think it was going to be him.
Yeah. You know, and the way they set it up, they set him up in such a way, because first his name is Ernie, which is an adorable name. He's a big cuddly guy. Like if you put Ernie on him, he looks like the big grandpa that you want to see, or he looks like the friend guy. Like he's just a big adorable guy, big adorable cuddly grizzly bear. Even though grizzly bears aren't really cuddly, they'll eat you. But he's a big cuddly something, right? So it completely puts down your radar. You're really not expecting it.
Yeah.
And he's like a father figure to Taye. He's been like a father figure to him this season.
Yeah, so they're actually interrogating him, and he pulls out a card, and I love this part.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is when Warren Daniels returns. Warren Daniels is played by James Cromwell. Man,
James Cromwell's
I hate
a beast.
Ya, but I love ya.
Cromwell's a monster.
He's a monster. If you guys remember him from season 1, he was the one who defended Tom Felton last season, and he was known as like the Doberman because he was badass.
Doberman.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a
right?
That's a badass name.
Badass name. And Nubbins gives his card, or the attorney's, which is Warren Daniels' card, to Kodo, and then Warren Daniels is back in the show, and he's amazing. I love him. I miss him. They try and question him, and Warren Daniels is like, all right, so this is what we're going to do. If he did do it, we're going to say he did it in self-defense. So how about you just, 7 to 10 years, 4 years parole. Yeah, or after 4 years, available for parole. And he says, you got 30 minutes for this deal.
That dude's a beast.
Beast, right?
And the one indication that he was the guy was the fact that he couldn't even afford him.
Right, because in season 1, if you guys remember, Tom Felton kept throwing money at Warren Daniels because that's the only way you could have him as your attorney, as your defense attorney. And Warren Daniels tells, because Saletti is in this. Remember, Saletti's doing the questioning, which is quite interesting because Saletti just won Destin Maker's trial. And he had just had like a conversation with these two, I don't know, people from the Conservative Party, I think. There's two guys, and they tell him, like, you need to stop thinking about being the district attorney of San Francisco and think about being the attorney general of Sacramento.
Yeah, I think they're liberal. I think they're Democrats.
Was
right?
it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought they weren't because he was going for the death penalty or something like. Wait, I could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't want to make a comment on that. And then come back and bite me in the ass.
We're not sure, but what I wanted to say with that is that when Daniels tells him 30 minutes, he points out, like, if you're trying to take on a bigger ship, you would probably want to leave this ship in better hands. This is probably like 20, 30 cops, dirty cops, Don't you rather have that?
Yeah, how he even knew what he was going through.
Right? Because he says Sacramento, like straight up. He's like, you want to, be the captain of a bigger ship. Look at what you're leaving behind. Like, he straight up tells them. And they don't seem to take the deal. Well, no, they do, because Hildy does say he gets off with a
slap on the wrist.
But they do get a lot of information, and the way they get this information, the way we get all the answers, is amazing. Amazing.
The way they did this, because they did it in a way where it's just like they know all the rules, and it shows to tell you that if you know the rules, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
So they know all the rules so that they can verbally have a conversation, literally admitting everything.
Yep.
And still not technically be confessing.
Yeah.
It was so good. And sorry.
No, go, please.
No, I was gonna say, and the fact that it says a lot about Ernie's. I thought that Ernie had a lot of self-doubt, only because the fact that he felt the need to say all this because he respects English and Hildy so much.
Yeah.
That he felt the need to open up and tell them this is what's really going on, hypothetically.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that, but about Terry, that I was like, I liked, because it's true, Terry had such a good relationship with him, that Terry's like, I want to go talk to him. So he goes to talk to him with Hildy, and this is when the word hypothetical gets thrown every 5 seconds, but it's so good. And he straight up asks him why the head man would kill cops if it seems as though the union is about protecting the cops. And so Warren Daniels is like, hypothetically, remember, this is all hypothetical, right? But we get all the answers, and we find out the chain of events, basically.
Yes. Are you gonna name them out?
Yeah, I think I got it. I think I got it. And please correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Okay, so
I think I wrote it down too. Hold on, let me get ready. All right.
So Nubbin says that hypothetically speaking, what if the head man wanted to kill Sarah because she was getting too much information from the strip club and wanted to dip her hands in the money and try and get into that. So hypothetically, he hires the captain, remember, because it's the head captains, and the captain is Crayola, tells Crayola to tell Walt and Caleb to kill Sarah.
Yes.
They kill Sarah, not knowing she's an undercover cop.
Yes.
Walt feels guilty, and they fear that he's going to tell what they did.
Yeah.
So then Caleb gets ordered to kill Walt.
Bang.
But he accidentally kills Walt with his own gun.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh no, now you're going to get caught. Let's kill you.
Boom. Yeah.
So they kill Caleb and set it up like a suicide.
Dang.
Boom. They kill Crayola so that nothing gets back
to them
or the head. And anyone else in the union.
And they call, what's her name? Something Blanca?
Bruja
White
Blanca.
Witch?
Yeah,
the Bruja Blanca.
That's the person that they found. The way that they were able to tie Ernie to this is that they found emails of this contract killer to try and get Crayola. So that's how they were able to tie all of this together. So Crayola was also set up, and it's a really touching. After he says all this, like hypothetical back and forth, Terry tells him, like, I looked up to you, man.
Yeah.
And he says, like, all this stuff
you
about...
were my Obi-Wan.
Right. But Ernie says, I remember being powerless. Like, just like you. Like, not having any power in this office. And then he tells him, like, it got so big. I had to feed so many mouths. But this is all hypothetical. Hypothetical. And then Hildy has a nice little, very short monologue, but has a monologue. And basically tells Warren Daniels, this guy killed X amount of people, chopped up Sugar's sister's body. We forgot about that. That was also done by the union.
It was all connected.
All connected, all to protect themselves.
Yeah, because they wanted to make Chan
think. They wanted to make Sugar
and Chan
think
it
was. Yeah, they wanted Sugar and Chan to go at it because the dirty cops had a business relationship with these guys. They were making money off of them. So it was all freaking connected.
All intertwined.
All of it.
Yes.
And Hildy tells Warren, like, all of this stuff. And then Warren says, like, truth's a bitch, huh?
Ooh. What English? Watch it, old man.
Yeah, watch
your mouth, old man.
Watch it, old man. And we get all the answers.
We got all... And they did it... They answered all of our questions in a way I've never seen before, but they did it in such a way that it was believable.
Great.
I mean, if a cop would watch this, they probably be like, that would never happen. But for me, it worked.
Right.
For me, and you also got an awesome interaction between Ernie and English.
That whole, all four of them was a great dynamic.
Scene.
And what you just said, like that maybe other people would be like, this wouldn't really happen. But Warren Daniels says, like, in a legal sense, this is how it works. We said hypothetically. Like, in a legal sense, we're actually doing this right. So I think we covered the whole episode.
I'm going to watch the whole episode all over again.
I think I am too.
The whole season.
Thank you so much for watching this entire season. Thanks for tweeting. Thanks for commenting.
Final thoughts?
Yes, I was going to say,
okay,
before we
sorry.
say goodbye, what is your final thought on season 2? Final thoughts. It doesn't have to be
phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed it. I like it enough that I'm going to, I mean, they're not on Netflix, but I'm gonna rewatch the whole season again.
Agreed.
Because there's knowing so much, you're gonna see so many different things, and there's so many moments between great actors, so many pivotal one-on-one moments where they're just going back and forth and like having this repartee that is it's just great to watch.
I agree.
Phenomenal writing, so many different storylines. It just worked for me. I loved it.
Me too. I loved it a lot. Not that I didn't love season 1. I love season 1. This one I loved even more.
Knocked it out of the park.
Knocked it out of the park. Excellent ensemble cast. We were so lucky to get so many of the cast members here.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for everybody.
Kathleen, Mo McRae, Mateus Ward, Curry Graham, Andy Kubersh. I think that was all.
I think that was all of them, right?
I think so. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Renew.
Yeah, feel free to tweet us. Renew to season 3.
Season 3.
Rate us 5 stars. Follow us on Twitter. You can find Micheal at Micheal_Drew.
Micheal EAL.
Yep, and you guys can find me on Twitter at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. All right. Well, hopefully see you guys next year for season 3. Thank you so much.
It was fun.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.